Wow, guys, sorry, I must admit I haven't enjoyed a day of rugby as much as I did today. From the Bull Stormers game into the Wales Italy game, and now the France Ireland game. This France Ireland game, jeez, what a game! Really, for a neutral sitting here watching it, stunning game to watch. Well done, England. Really, really showed a lot of guts, lots of character. France looked a bit off their game. I don't think we should excuse them too much. You've got to turn up on the big occasions, and they do normally. But for a large part of the game, they seemed a bit off it. So it seemed a bit off. I mean, the start there, Dupont dropped a number of passes. Dupont, Damien Penoir, a couple of try-scoring opportunities going missing in the first half, and they really looked like they struggled in that first half. And England did what England did best. They niggled. They were in their faces. They really disrupted France a lot. But I think the thing that we know England can play that sort of game. We know we've seen it from World Cups where they've sort of played those sort of games, and they've we know as South Africa, as how they've niggled South African defences, how they've disrupted. They make you look bad, and they're a very good gritty sort of get in the gutters type team. And they did that for a large part of the first half. But what I really enjoyed about this game for England, which you don't see often, is how they attacked. And you got to give Finn Smith some really a lot of kudos there. The Northampton boys really performed in this game. Yeah, he was exceptional. Tommy Freeman was exceptional. Yeah, the bunch of them all played well. Marcus Smith, even from fullback, I know he's not a Northampton boy, but yeah, he played pretty well at fullback, and that combo worked. And when England were on attack, they found holes in the French defence. You don't see that often either. The French defence normally holds up pretty fine, and they normally turn attack defence into attack and score at the other end. We've seen it with so many other teams that they're just overwhelmed with the amount of tries. So maybe they had a bit of off day. Maybe they didn't have the best of attacks, but they still came back. And to lose a game by 1 point is no disgrace. I think one thing though, if you look at it, uh, and this is a bugbear for me because I know some people are not going to disagree with me, and there's a crowd of people who believe Antoine Dupont is the best thing ever to happen to rugby, and good for them. And that's your opinion, great for you. To me, I don't like those sort of debates. I think players in a team environment, everybody contributes something, and nobody's ever talking about tight heads and props as the best ever in rugby. They always look for the flashy players. So I don't really like those sort of debates. But Anton Dupont on the night was not even the best scrum half on the park. Alex Mitchell took that, and Dupont really didn't have a great game. Yeah, it didn't stop the commentators from praising everything he did, and I think that's what sort of irritates me more than anything else is this. He's a hell of a good player, don't get me wrong, and he can turn games on his head, but when he doesn't have a good game, this sort of obsession to praise every single move that he does and then keep quiet whenever he does something wrong, is rather bizarre. But anyway, that being said, he's still a great player. France have many of them. Thomas Ramos was very good for me. I think their bench didn't have the impact that they did. England's bench certainly did. When they came on, Finn Baxter certainly made a big difference to me. And I just think England all round were more desperate. They were more in their faces, and they really wanted it. And Finn Smith played the game second half. The first half he was a bit quieter. The second half of his life there for England. So some great tries, some really good sort of counter attacks there. And France, normally when they score, you kept on thinking, well, okay, they're going to get away from them now. England are going to fold in the last 20, and England didn't. So takes a lot of pressure off Steve Borthwick. Whether it takes a lot, it throws the Six Nations wide open. Where this leaves everybody is going to be interesting. We'll see after tomorrow's game, Ireland-Scotland. But for now, well done, England. Let's have a look at some of the tries. They're not in order. It's where I can get clips. Obviously, there's copyright issues at times, so hopefully I won't get flagged for these. But yeah, we'll have a look at some clips and then some stats from the game, which makes some very interesting reading. Let's start for this one with England. This was in the second half. This was the one where Thomas Ramos certainly made a decision not to tackle there, and Ollie Lawrence went through quite easy, almost too easy for England. You don't see that often. Just watch it again, and you just see watch Thomas Ramos's actions here. Great play and had a great game, but on this tackle with Ollie Lawrence, he didn't even come close to him, and that was really quite funny to watch, to be very honest. Then we go to the opening try here. This was a ball that Dupont did well in cleaning up, and he found Ramos there in the inside. And this little grubber from Ramos Damon Penoir to Louis Beret was brilliant. It really was. If you look at it, it's a ball that was dropped backwards there, and it fell, and Dupont picked it up. He ran laterally, and fair enough, he created some space, but inside to Penoir, and Penoir's little kick was what made this try, and a great finish there by the Bordeaux winger. Just have a look again there. What a little grubber kick through, and I thought that was going to go out when I first saw it, but great finish. Some really good work here from Finn Smith and the Northampton boys. Yeah, really combining well. If you look there, the guy who misses the tackle there is Dupont, but it was some fabulous work there in seeing the space, and what a quality finish there from Tommy Lawrence. Just really good finish there. Took the ball in the air and flat-footed both defenders for a very, very telling try. That's when you knew England weren't going to give it up. You knew they were going to fight all the way, and it was great to see. And there's the winning try. What a great move there. And a beautiful pass from Smith to put Elliot Daly through for the winning try. Simply superb, and you could see the celebrations, what it meant to England. This has been fabulous for them, and a great win for England there right at the death. Okay, so let's have a look at the stats. So England were in the lead for just 6 minutes in the entire game. It's very interesting, these stats at times there. Possession for the last 10 minutes, 62%. That definitely was evident. And 9 points in the last 10 minutes really got them back into the game. And France didn't give up. We thought France had sealed it, but well done to England for fighting back like that. Then we look at the 22 entries, and you can see England got 10 entries into France's half. France had 8 into the 22. Very interesting score, and obviously England getting a slightly better conversion rate out of that. Of course, the match summary, 4 tries to 3 tells a story, 3 conversions to 2. If you look at the carries, France made a lot more carries, so they had a lot more ball. Line breaks were more or less the same. Turnovers, a lot more turnovers lost by France, but they made a lot more handling errors, and turnovers won. England, the Curry brothers really were good in that. You could see their influence there as well. So interesting stats, that one. Territory stat, quite interesting. Most of the game played in the middle of the park, as you can see, but France really had more territory. Not that always tells a story, but almost the same, but France just shading that a bit. Possession, 50-50, pretty even through the game, but you can see in the last 10 minutes when it mattered, 62% possession for England, only 38% for France. And that's where England came back into that game, and that really turned it. Some quick attack stats there. France, of course, more carries, which meant they made more passes. Post-contact meters, just shading England. England with less ball, but making more post-contact meters, and that's quite interesting stat as well. Just think England's attack was a bit more fluid, especially in that second half, and you could see it by the end result. Some more stats there. Turnovers won. England shading that 6-3. Not really. The turnovers lost is often just handling errors. Penalties, France conceding a few more penalties, but nothing major. Both teams were pretty disciplined on the night as well. Some defensive stats here as well. England made a lot more tackles. Not surprising, but France didn't. Well, still shaded them a bit on the post-contact meters. Not much in the tackles missed. It's more or less the same. Both teams attacked quite a bit, and made a couple of line breaks. So not surprising, these stats. Nothing too much to read into there. Couple of individual stats to quickly look at. The carries, France, all French players at the top there. Thomas Ramos, Aldrit is always in that, and Jalibert as well, putting in some good carries there. But Ramos is always in these stats. Line breaks, Ramos is there as we know, but Tommy Freeman and Ollie Slightholm both getting 2 line breaks each, and showing just how the England backline was attacking tonight. Tackles completed, some good numbers there. Tom Willis, huge effort from him. George Martin as well. Nothing too heavy from that, but I mean the tackles were rather spread around, and England did make more tackles than France. Interesting, the turnovers lost. That's often is seen as the handling errors as well. Yeah, Marcus Smith, Thomas Ramos, both at the back there. Ollie Slyton at the back making some mistakes. Tom Curry leading the turnovers one. Tommy Freeman also getting one there. Louis Bell Beret taking two for himself, but Curry had a significant impact on the game. So there you have it. That's the stats. That's the hot take on the game. I think the team that benefited the most was Ireland. I think for the first time in a long time, England tries will have been cheered on in Dublin. I think Ireland will probably sit now and think, well, they can win the Six Nations if they just carry on winning. And they might not have to win in the decider against France in Dublin. But for France, what does this do? Does Fabien Galtier's invincible tag, they're going to be the new dominant team, they were the favourites for the Six Nations. Does this deal them a blow? It certainly does in my book. It shows that any team can be beaten if you play them the right way, and you're only as good as your opposition that you play. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back. There'll be a lot of soul searching there amongst their fans as well and their pundits. But yeah, certainly this is a huge blow for them. England, of course, Steve Borthwick has bought himself not just some time, but some capital now. Shows that they can win these crunch games. They can go up against some of the world's best sides. And this will do a lot for Steve Borthwick as well. England need to back this up, though. That's their next big task. You can't win these one-off games and not back them up. So, but I think tonight with Ireland, if they get a good win against Scotland, which I expect, it's going to keep them smiling all the way in the Six Nations. But what a day, what results, and what a game. Certainly great. Tell me where you think France went wrong. Tell me where you feel England went right and how you saw the game in the comments. I read them all. Thank you for watching again, and there'll be more videos like this. See you tomorrow after the Ireland-Scotland game. Cheers.